Howdy guys, Rod here, and today I'm going to give you a nice good look at the inside of glider Kilo Juliet, my lovely 50-year-old glider. So KJ is a Glasflügel Hornet. It is serial number 22 and it was made in 1975, so this year it turns 50, and I've just passed my annual and I'm putting my seat pans back in. I've replaced a radio and a microphone and a speaker, and I've also had my safety harness straps replaced, the webbings replaced on the straps, and I'm going to fit them in. So I'll just give you a quick walk around and show you a few interesting things. Yay! So when you're doing an annual, you've got to take the cockpit off. Now I've got a two-piece cockpit. The front piece stays bolted down and the back piece hinges upwards. So that's come off. There's my control panel there. And I'll just start by showing you the new radio. Well, when I say new, this is the radio here in the back, and that's it from the front. It's a nice old Becker. There's an interesting story behind this. Over in Europe, they used to have 25 kilohertz separation between the frequencies, and they started running out of frequencies, so they divided into thirds, which happened to be 8.33 kilohertz. So there were literally hundreds and thousands of old radios like this one in Europe that had to get pulled out of aircraft and all gliders. And that all happened about 5 years ago, and there's still a few around. So I got one of those that wasn't working. I gave it to my friend Mark and Nelson, who fixed it up. And I've managed to mount it in, and it works. It's quite easy. There's only 8 wires. I've used the proper capped-on wire, which is supposed to be good for... Anyway, 8 wires. Those two are plus and minus. This is plus and minus coming from the battery, which is housed in there behind the wing housing. And 2 wires go to the speaker. And I decided to buy a brand new speaker. Nice little 4 ohm, which is what the Becker needs. And then I also bought two more of the 8 wires as the microphone, and I bought a new microphone. Now these cost $300. It's a dynamic microphone, and they cost $300 from the gliding shops. So I had a look on AliExpress, and this is a DJ mic, so you must plug it into his deck, and I don't know what DJs do. It had one of these RSL plugs in the back, so I had to wire that into the wiring. So if ever I need to replace it in the future, it will be easy. I had to make this little bracket up with some little screws, and that is working beautifully. I've actually tested it. So that's the new radio. This was the old radio, this clunky old thing, and it went under the dashboard, and it was actually banging into my knees. The corners of it were banging into my knees, and it basically runs on steam. This one, it's so old. Might have been the original, one of the original radios. So anyway, out that came, and in went the new. So in the annual, you take your seat pan out. That's what I actually sit in there. A couple of memory foam cushions and a sheepskin. So that comes out, and you get right down to the floor. Now, here's the joystick. So if I move the joystick from side to side, you'll see that this arm here moves backwards and forwards, and that is going to work my ailerons on the wings. And then when I go forward and back, you'll notice that this arm here goes forward and back, and that will move the elevator back there, which is not on, but you can actually see the little arms moving gently in the back there. And then down in here, which you probably won't see, are 2 rudder pedals. and you can see in the fiberglass rudder pedals there, left foot, right foot, and that moves your rudder, which is not unlike a boat rudder. It just, you kick it left, it goes left, kick it right, it goes right. So it's coordination between the rudder and the joystick. Is our stick and rudder. You've probably heard that before. This little conglomeration here is a release for when I do winch launches. So the yellow knob is for release, and you pull that, and you can see it releases the hook in here. They're good for 2,000 flights, those hooks. There's another one in the nose here which activates at the same time. I don't know if you can even see in there, but there is a hook there. And a ring on the end of a rope for that one. Some other things you might enjoy looking at, there's a cover plate goes over there. I can't even, here it is. So when you take this cover plate off here, you can see the wheel. And down here is a lever. It normally has a rubber handle, and you'll see that I can drop the wheels down when I'm landing, and I can pull them up when I'm flying. So that makes it a bit more streamlined with the wheel up. And what else can I show you? Here's the brakes. So that comes out, and that is about killing your glide angle, really. This brake here is for the wheel. So once you've touched down, it's just like a push brake, and it brakes you. So you put your brakes away when you're flying, and when you're coming into land, you can adjust your glide angle by sliding the brakes in and out. They come out on the wing. So have a quick look at the instruments here. We've got, I'll turn it on first. So that's the main power switch there. That's the radio, and that's the Vario. And you'll see there we've got 13.2 volts. I put that wee USB plug in there because I might put some heated soles in my shoes, or buy some USB heated socks, because man, you can get cold when you're high. That's the radio. You can change frequency here. 13355 is for Springfield, 119.1 is a Merrimer, and the two are reversed for chat frequency, so 13355. That's my beautiful Bugelt Vario. Might turn that off, it's a bloody annoying noise. And that's my Cambridge Vario. It's very important, that tells you how many knots you're going up or down. So you always have two of those because it's such an important instrument. There's my airspeed. So if you have a look here, you go up, stall speed is somewhere over, where am I looking? Yeah, so stall speed, you don't want to go much below, here it is here, 45. Start stalling 60, 80, and you don't really want to go much over about 130 knots. So there's a panel here on the side just to remind you. All gliders have this, and you'll see VNE is 135 knots. So you can't go any maximum permissible speed. Various other speeds, and maximum load on seat 110 kilos. I weigh 90, so that's good. Just in case I forget who I am, it's Golf Kilo Juliet. That's the name of my glider when I call it out on the radio. There's an oxygen bottle sits in the back there, but that's off getting pressure tested. And this is the oxygen feed system in my cannula. And this is a demand feed. So when you start breathing it, it gives you a shot of oxygen, and when you get higher, it gives you more oxygen. A few little pockets for my stuff. And that's where the battery sits in there. So you unplug it and take it away, because you don't want a lithium battery sitting in a glider charging. could go on fire, you never know. I'm not sure, we'll just have a quick look around here. So another thing I've had to do is get my straps replaced, or the webbing on my harness. So it's the lap strap and 2 shoulder straps. Every 12 years they need to get done, and you get a new tag. So there you go. So there, it's good till 2032 now. Is it? No. The date it was done was 6/2025, and I know they get 12 years, so it'd be 2037 they're running out there. So that should see me out. These are where the shoulder straps go, here and here. And there is where the lap strap fastens. It's all fiberglass, the construction of this. So it's going to be fantastic. I'll just give you a quick look at what goes in the cockpit as well. Personal locator beacons, so you flick an aerial out and you push the switch, and that will send out a radio frequency and a GPS emergency signal. White tape for taping up the wings. Remove before flight, that's for holding my tail plane on. There's a pitot tube, which you have to keep careful, and that fits in, and that feeds air to the instruments in the back here. And that's for the altimeter, which is on 500 feet, which is the altitude in Kirui where we are. So that and the airspeed and the varios all need air from various places back in the tail of the glider. This is a little flask which has just got air in it, but obviously air flows in when the pressure's increasing and flows out when the pressure's decreasing. And then there's something that senses that in the varios. What else we got here? This is for a tool for tightening the wings once they're on, and there's a pin has to go in. First aid kit, tow rope, and I've got a little poncho, which is just a $5 poncho from AliExpress. In case it's raining when I land, I can put that on and I won't get cold and wet. So that's all that. And then I'll just show you the last thing here is each aircraft, and this is a registered aircraft. I pay registration to CAA and ZK, GKJ. Let's turn that radio off. That's a bit quieter. So this is all the flying I've done in KJ. So it's 18 flights, which was 14 aerotows and 4 winches. I've done a lot more flying than this, but in club gliders. But so I started at the end of November, and then my last flight was end of March. So 23, nearly 24 hours. So I spent a day in the air. Logbook for these gliders. After 3,000 hours, it has to have a really big check. And I think that KJ, as I call her, no guesses why I call her KJ, written on the tail. KJ is, I think it's at 2,600 hours. So I'll be giving the body a bit of a light polish. I'll be polishing up my perspex. There's a crap load of screws here to hold the seat pan and that cover plate there, and there's also a backrest here which has to go in. So I'm going to have to work out what all those bolts are. These 4 here are for holding the front canopy on. Pretty straightforward, but for obvious reasons you do not want to leave anything in the bottom of the cockpit, so you're very careful to leave everything out and move it in as you need it. So there you go. That's KJ has got her annual, and I'm hoping to take it out to Springfield sometime in the next few weeks. Maybe I'll do a check flight in one of the twin gliders with an instructor, and then I'll give KJ its first flight at Springfield. Catch you later. Bye.